Hey guys, welcome to another video. This is Warren C. And first off, I want to thank Cameramall, my local camera store, for allowing me the opportunity to play around with the GFX50s II with the kit lens, the 35 to 70 millimeter. So when it comes to the GFX50s, the revamped body in the S2 puts it in line with this guy. And this is the GFX 100s. I saved up for this camera for a few to get it. It was a nice little goal of mine, and I'm glad I was able to achieve it. But it is definitely expensive, which is why it doesn't go out too much unless it's for special projects. And I started off with this guy. This is the 50R, and was able to trade some stuff in way back when this came out, and also saved up for this one and got into the medium format system with Fuji. Before then, I was APS-C and still am APS-C for majority of the work that I do. Those guys come out for special situations, and recently, as you guys have seen, I've been using the 50R for some street photography. What do I think about the 50s along with the kit lens? I thought it was fantastic. Having the smaller body in the same shell as this guy right here with IBIS, same comfortable feel as the XH2. Let's see if I get this off my eye. Okay. The difference between these two, as you can see right here, one is definitely bigger than the other. And it makes sense that it is, because we have a bigger sensor in one than we do have in the other. We all know that the body language for the GFX line is basically taken from the XH1, which started it all, which I have loved that body. I love that camera, and actually after selling mine to get other gear over the years, finally went back and got one just because I wanted to have an XH1 again. I love the way the kit lens itself operated. It did take me a second to get used to the fact that when you zoom, when you turn it all the way to one end, and I believe it's when you turn it this way, which is clockwise, it collapses the lens completely for when you're not going to use it, which is great because it brings it in and makes it more compact. And then when you're ready to use it, you have to extend it out. And it does do the in and out as you go through the zoom range, which that isn't an issue for me. I don't know if that makes it, most people think it might be of a cheaper quality. It doesn't for me. I think that it made for a very smooth transition from focal length to focal length without me noticing it. The one thing I noticed, of course, is the variable zoom, which it is. It's a 4.5 to a 5.6. And we'll go on that in a second about what I felt about that. I thought that it was a situation where if I didn't have the 50R, I would absolutely, or if I didn't love the 50R, I should say, as much as I do, I would absolutely go after the 50s2 and use that for the same reasons I use the 50R. It's just a wonderful feel with the ergonomics, which I knew it would be since it's in the exact same body as the 100s. With the IBIS, I was able to basically get down to as low as 1/50th of a shutter speed when I took it out and did some low light photography, and we'll go through those images shortly here. When it comes to the lens itself, again, I think the lens does great when you have light, but it's medium format and you're going to need light. Going out and doing low light photography, most people won't go past 3200 ISO, but I was able to go to 6400 ISO with this camera body because of that IBIS. The ability to work with it and get more light in the camera at slower shutter speeds and higher ISO was fantastic, and I think I got some good images here because of that. Only had a week with this. Weather wasn't great, so I would have loved to have gotten out more with this, but I couldn't because the weather was horrendous. And this is a wonderful opportunity to work with Cameramall, utilizing this camera, and of course I don't want to mess up anybody's gear. So let's go into the images. As you see as I go through them, when it comes to having some light, you're going to get great images with this, of course. You're going to get great detail, and you're going to be able to crop as well. When it comes to the building here, I'm going to show you, I was able to take a shot at its widest focal length of 35 millimeters, and then able to crop all the way into the top of the building like you see now, and still have that great detail, and even be able to see what's in some of the windows like plants and so forth, which I think was fantastic. Same thing here with the horseshoe. I was able to shoot at a certain wide angle length, and then able to crop all the way in to just around the horseshoe and get great detail, as you see here. Detail did not fade at all, which is what I like the most about having my medium format cameras, the ability to crop, get me different images, and still retain that detail. The 50 mil will do it for you. For those who are thinking about the 100, yeah, it's a lot more megapixels. It means you can get even more detail in that crop, but it's a lot bigger files, bigger money again. So I would say for sure, if you're looking at the medium format world and you're trying to get into a system that is not as expensive as, say, as a Hasselblad, I would definitely look at the Fuji one, and definitely look at the 50 series. So when it comes to low light, just like with my 50R here, this beautiful beast here, I set this on AF Rapid for the 50S and set my ISOs, set my aperture, and went out to shoot. Again, with the IBIS, I was able to increase my ISO from 3200, which I have it in on the 50R, to 6400. And that gave me more light gathering capability to get out there and get some good detail on some images. So as you see the images going through, I definitely like the fact that I was able to, like on this particular tree with the blue ornaments on it, crop in and still have great detail. I was able to do the same with this star. I wanted to see, hey, if I take this picture of this star on the top of this tree, I got detail here. Let me crop in on this one as well. And sure enough, great detail. So low light, fantastic. You got to have the right settings for sure. You definitely want to be able to get the detail on your subject. And then in post with these images, because of all that detail in the image size, you can work some wonders. You can work some magic. So there are some negatives for me though when it comes to this setup. And honestly, they're not bad negatives. They're just the capabilities of the camera. It is a medium format, so it is a slower process still. You are going to need to set up a shot. You are going to need to slow down to get a good image, keeper, if you will. The 35 to 70 millimeter lens, as compact as it is, it starts at f4.5 and it is variable. I did switch to my 50 pancake lens, which starts at f3.5 and it's that all the way through. So I was able to utilize that and get more light in and get more images that I would like to keep and show to you guys. The 32 to 64 is an f4 all the way through. It is bigger though, which is why this is nicer when it comes to the 35 to 70 millimeter. For travel, for sure, I would definitely take this lens for travel. It's smaller. I would couple it with the 50 and I'd be excited to have it, and bam, there you go. Along with the IBIS from the 50, this makes for me a great, along with the handling, street photography setup, believe it or not. And this is where my 50R struggles. This thing is always a monster compared to these two. If I can do this right and line them up right, look how big this thing is compared to the 100. I mean, just look, guys. Just let me turn this around. If I turn it around, just look at these cameras. This is the 50R. This is the 100. This thing is a monster when it comes to size, and there's no IBIS in it. So if Fuji's listening, I would love to see you bring the 50R back as a 50R2, smaller profile with IBIS in it, and you have a winner for sure, just like you do in the 50S. So those are my quick. I would have liked to have had a better experience with things for the 50S along with the kit lens. I did not have an opportunity to throw the 32 to 64 on before I had to turn this in, unfortunately. And there were some other things I would have loved to have done. But I did do a comparison with the XH2, and that'll be coming up in the next video. So let me know what you guys think about the 50S2, your thoughts. If you have questions, let me know. I might be able to answer them in the time I've had the camera. Pretty similar to the 100S, actually. Same menu, same everything. The only difference is the number of megapixels. So with that, have a good one, guys. Enjoy.